welcome to the Phenom's Corner. This is your host, the Phenom. And I've just seen Saw 6 not too long ago, and no, I'm not about to review that. There's actually something else related to these last 3 Saw films that I thought that I would take a little bit of time to talk about. Because this is probably the last you're ever going to hear from me about Saw anything, so I thought I would get this out. Now, there's been a lot of talk on message boards within the last couple of years talking about Jigsaw and the new guy, the new apprentice type person, Hoffman. I think his name is Mark Hoffman. In Saw 4, we find out that he was the second apprentice type person who was helping Jigsaw along with Amanda in rounding up all these people or whatever. In Saw 5, we find out a lot more about him and his reasonings behind doing things and why he was in fact working with Jigsaw. And the argument that I'm actually going to address is one that basically refers to Hoffman as a murderer while Jigsaw is not a murderer. And seeing that argument always just gets me thinking about how utterly fucking stupid people generally are. A convenient fact that people seem to ignore about Hoffman is the fact that when he murdered somebody, it was the person who killed his sister, his only family. She was brutally murdered, and he captured the guy, put him in a fake jigsaw trap that he had rigged up, and basically killed him. That's very sound logic to me. If someone had did that to someone that I really cared about, I can't say that I wouldn't have reacted in a similar way if I had the resources and the knowledge to do something like that. So, I never had a problem with that. That's very acceptable to me. The guy had it coming. After this, he's captured by Jigsaw, because Jigsaw obviously knows that he didn't set the trap up, and he is basically blackmailed by Jigsaw into helping him. Hoffman never wanted anything to do with any of these tests or anything. Jigsaw basically tells him, if you don't help me, I will go forward with the evidence and your life will be ruined. So Hoffman really had no choice but to go along with all this. From there on out, he simply did what he needed to do in order to cover his tracks. We learn in Saw 6 that he was in fact the one who sort of rigged Amanda's game in 3 so that she would in fact kill the doctor and she would fail her test, resulting in her and Jigsaw being killed, leaving him the last man standing, so to speak. Which means he would be able to finally go back to his life and put all this behind him. Who the fuck could blame him for that? He never wanted anything to do with this shit. And secondly, people say that, he's a murderer because he killed 3 FBI agents in Saw 6 when they were about to discover that he was in fact the new Jigsaw kind of guy. And yes, he did, because they went back and they found the Jigsaw tape that he left when he killed that first guy that killed his sister. They were unscrambling the voice to reveal that it wasn't in fact Jigsaw who made the tape. It was him, of course. So, let me ask you this. What the fuck was he supposed to do when they were about to discover him? I mean, when it came through with his voice on it, was he supposed to just play it off as a fucking joke or something? I mean, seriously. He killed them in order to cover his tracks. He did what he needed to do to stay free. It's understandable. I don't condone murder in any sense, but I can understand the reasonings behind it. The end justifies the means. If killing people is what it takes in order to stay free, then that's what it takes. And another thing, people tend to look at Jigsaw as some sort of savior person and say that he never killed anybody, which just isn't true. Confused Matthew, when he reviewed the first Saw film, pointed it out very clearly that he has in fact killed people. When these people die in their traps, it doesn't really matter if they die trying to get out. They're only trying to get out because he put them there to begin with. It doesn't matter whether he was there doing it in person. He has killed people. He was directly responsible for the death of a police officer in the first film who stepped over a tripwired shotgun. And he was also directly responsible for the guy in Amanda's game who died when she had to cut open his stomach to get her key out. And not to mention, when he was faced with being captured, he slashed a cop's throat with a concealed blade in order to get away. Tell me he didn't mean to kill right there. I mean, he sure didn't stop to see if the guy was okay before he started to run out of there, did he? Look, the only point that I'm trying to make in this is that Calling Hoffman a murderer while embracing Jigsaw at the same time is nothing short of hypocritical and stupid. The end.